Someone's very grumpy because I've stolen her chair. Let's talk about hobbies. Hi, hello, welcome back. Welcome to another week in paradise on your cozy corner of the internet. As I mentioned when I first started this channel, is that I was going to be doing predominantly book content, but I've always wanted to do like cozy content and like hobby content and that sort of stuff. So that is what we're going to be focusing on today. Today's video is all about some cozy hobbies that you can amuse yourself with. I mean, any time of the year, but I feel like these ones specifically, I live in Australia. If you could not tell by my accent, it is currently balls hot down here, down under. So I thought it was the perfect time to make a video about some hobbies that you can do all through summer. Stay inside, stay cool, no sweating. We don't like that. So I'm just gonna get it out of the way, right? I don't like summer. Sorry, I'm sorry, I know. I feel like it's kind of goes against living in Australia. So when it comes to summer, I find it really difficult to find ways to amuse myself because it's too hot to do a lot of the things that I would normally like to do, which is like going for a run, going for a big walk, just being outside. It's too damn hot. It's too damn hot. So I tend to essentially hibernate for 3 to 4 months. So these hobbies are very important to me. Hobby number one, painting. So summer is a great time to get into painting, especially watercolor, because everything dries so quickly. You don't need to be Picasso. I would like to put it out there. I am a terrible painter. I'll put some screenshots here of some of the paintings I have done before. I am no Picasso. I am not particularly good at it. The whole point is that you have fun, is that you enjoy yourself, and that you are doing something with your attention span that's not doom scrolling on your phone for 17 hours. I have a folder on my Pinterest where I will sort of pin and save anything that I think is cute. So I basically like freehand copy, sit with my little acrylics. This hobby is also, I think, very accessible because paper is, I mean, if you can steal some from your work, essentially free. Paintbrushes, go to like your big warehouse store like a Kmart or a Target. They have huge collections of brushes for very cheap. Same with paints. Acrylic paints especially are so cheap. So it's a super accessible price point for the entry for this particular hobby. And don't feel like you need to make it good. As long as you're enjoying, throw it out when you're done. As long as you have fun doing it, that's the point of this exercise. The second hobby I'm going to talk about is, I feel like, the most obvious one for this channel, so we'll just get it out of the way nice and early on in the video, and that is reading. Obviously, I am a huge fan of reading. I am a huge fan of books. Going to the pool? Take a book. Going to the beach? Take a book. Going to just like right at a friend's house? Take a book. Too hot to do anything outside? Sit in the shade. Read a book. I mean, there's not much to say about this one. It's reading. I can't possibly talk that long about getting a book and the turning of the pages of a book. You know how reading works. The next hobby I want to talk about is gardening. I am 80 years old at heart and I love to garden. I live in an apartment building. I do not have a big backyard and a huge garden. I have, in my opinion, fostered quite a lovely little oasis on my balcony. You don't need a whole lot of space, especially if you can utilize height. If you can stack things and level things, you really can make quite a beautiful garden in just a tiny little corner of your balcony. Herbs especially don't need a lot of space, but also don't feel like you have to plant things that have a purpose. Like, you don't need to plant things that are edible. You don't need to plant things that serve a purpose. If you want to just plant pretty little flowers, plant pretty little flowers. Not everything has to serve a purpose. Some things can just be fun. So if you don't want to plant herbs, if that's not your vibe, if you just want to plant some pretty little flowers or some succulents or some cactus, go for it. I will not judge you. The little terracotta pots especially, they're pretty cheap. Like, a packet of seeds is like a couple of dollars, or if you want to splurge a little bit, you can get the pre-sprouted little flowers. They can be like $2. Go to Bunnings or go to whatever your local nursery is, buy a few little terracotta pots, buy a few little seedlings, buy a few little punnets of herbs, and just give it a go. And if they die, so what? If you had fun doing it, who cares? If you don't have a green thumb, no one is judging you. The next hobby I want to talk about is something that I feel often gets overlooked because I don't think people think of it as a hobby. I do, and that is mixology. So often this is associated with alcoholic drinks, but this doesn't have to be. You don't have to use alcohol. There are so many fantastic resources that have the most delicious sounding mocktail recipes. I think mixology is such a good hobby because it's one of those things where you can make it as complicated or as easy as you want. You can do something like an Aperol Spritz, for example, that you build in the glass. You don't need any equipment for that. Or you can do something quite complicated where you use egg white or aquafaba to give it the foam, and you have a bunch of different ingredients and you need to shake it, and you have syrups and you can make the syrups yourself. This is all part of what I think makes mixology such a fun hobby. I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite cocktails in the world. It's not one that you hear about very often, so take it away, future me. Okay, welcome to my cocktail making class. And can I just say, past Laura, you're looking very beautiful today. Oh my god, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. So today we are going to be making my favorite cocktail of all time, which is a Corpse Reviver number 2. The Corpse Reviver number 1, I don't know how you got such a nice drink out of such a disgusting drink. The Corpse Reviver number 1 sounds absolutely disgusting, but this one is delicious. It's perfect for summer. It's like citrusy, fresh, light. To make it, you will need some gin of your choice. I have the incredible Archie Rose, some triple sec, some Lillet Blanc, which is basically a fortified wine, and then a little bit of Green Fairy, a little bit of absinthe. The thing that I love about this cocktail is how easy it is to make. It is equal measurements of everything, so you don't really need to remember anything. You just need to remember the ingredients. But you're going to take, I love that sound. You're going to take your gin, 22.5 milliliters of gin. Then we're going to take our triple sec, 22.5. You're going to take your Lillet Blanc, 22.5. You're going to take your lemons. I pre-squeezed some for you. And then you need ice. I'm going to take a bunch of ice. And then you're gonna shake it. I have a glass here that I have been pre-chilling in the freezer because I think if you're making a cocktail, it's always nice to have a chilled glass. Strainer. You can double strain if you're really pedantic about ice shards. I don't really care. Then the magic of this is coming from this little baddie and this little baddie. So you can pour a little bit into the glass, swirl and dump. I find it's way easier if you have an atomizer. So this is absinthe in an atomizer. Take your glass, 3 little squirts. Oh, I love that smell. And then pour. And enjoy. This is very full. Oh, it's so good. My cocktail assistant is here to try my wares.
Very nice. Could definitely revive a corpse if it wanted to.
But I think it's a perfect summer drink. Enjoy and take it away past Laura. The next hobby that I want to talk about is another one that I am a huge fan of, and that is junk journaling or scrapbooking or decoupage or whatever you want to call it. This is my journal. She's getting chunky. This is one that's so great because if you don't have magazines lying around your house already, go to a thrift store and I guarantee they will have piles and piles and piles of old magazines that you can pick up for super, super cheap. Obviously, you can go out, give into your capitalist demon and buy washi tape and fancy stuff, but at the end of the day, all you need is a journal or like something to put it in, a glue stick, some scissors, and pictures of anything. So like these are some of the spreads that I have done. It's not complicated. It doesn't have to be a work of art. This is something that you can do with friends. This is one that my partner and I did together. It's all memorabilia and photos of us and things that we've done together. This is one I did that was sort of like girlhood, pink themed. But again, there is nothing in this that I had to go out and buy. These are the stickers I got free in a magazine. These are all just cutouts from different magazines. You can go out and buy specific books that are made to have like cute little pictures in them that you can cut out, and they're like specific collaging scrapbook books, but you don't need to buy that. Go to a thrift store, get a magazine, get into journaling. The next one I want to talk about is for the girlies who don't mind the heat as much, because if it's a 35-degree day, I'm inside. But the next hobby I want to talk about specifically for summer is nature walks. And this, you can actually just like go on a little hot girl walk, or you can do like themed ones. So I've seen on Instagram they do color walks, which is where you pick out a specific color before you go out on walks, and you take photos of anything you see that's that color, or if you see like rubbish, you can pick it up and put it in your junk journal, things like that. It's basically just a fun way to go for a walk, but also pull your attention away from your phone. So you're not actually just absorbed in your music or a podcast or tuning out. You're actually focusing in on the environment around you and paying attention to what is around you. And I think that's a really, really nice way to go out walking. Other ones I've seen are flower walks, which is basically where you make a paper bouquet. So when you've done, it looks like you have this really pretty like bouquet of flowers. I think this is just the cutest idea. Another thing that you can do, which has snuck up on me, and that is bird watching. Hear me out. I didn't know that birds were so cool. And the amount of knowledge that I have squirreled away in my brain about birds is ridiculous. But sometimes just going out for a walk in your neighborhood and seeing how many different birds you can spot. Doesn't have to be birds. It could be any wildlife. If you live in a country where you have like chipmunks and squirrels and stuff, go for a walk. Give yourself a time limit. See how many different birds you can spot in a 45-minute period. I swear to you, it's way funner than I make it sound. Bird watching. It's a fun hobby. The last hobby I want to talk about is friend clubs. This is not a solo hobby. Obviously, you kind of need a group of friends to make this one work. But what I mean by friend clubs is basically getting a group of your friends together and making a club around whatever interest you have. So that could be books, that could be movies. I've seen a lot of people on social media doing supper clubs, which I think is very, very fun. You get together and you do the thing that you've designated that your friend group or friend club is doing. So as an example, I had one that I ran with a group of friends a few years ago. We did a movie club where once a month we would rotate between who hosted, and whoever hosted for that month would get to pick the movie and pick the meal that we would eat. We would all go to their place. We would all leave our phones when we went in the front door, and then we would actually sit, watch the movie together, talk about the film, eat food. The amount of times I've realized that I have been doom scrolling on my phone whilst the movie has been playing for 30 minutes and I've not been paying attention. Ridiculous. It's so nice to just sit down with your friends and actually pay attention to the thing that you're watching. Have a in-depth discussion about whatever media you've consumed when you're done. Have a meal together and have that be a set date every month or fortnight or however often you like that you get together with your friends and have uninterrupted time together. Another one that I've seen that obviously requires a little bit more prep is the supper club. So the concept is, again, you rotate who hosts to kind of make sure that you're balancing the duties. But essentially you get together once a month, you pick a menu, whoever hosts cooks all the food, makes the menu, and you just sit together and have a nice meal. There's been a lot of talk of, I think they're called third spaces, or third places. This can be a really fun thing to do outside, to have a third space. For example, I have a book club that I run with a group of friends. It's so nice to get together once a month and actually leave my house, leave my work, leave the places that I am at all the time and get to see my friends outside in a new space. No one's in a rush because everyone's set aside the date. We go the same first Thursday of every month and we talk about books, and it's just so nice. So those are a couple of my favorite hobbies that I love to do as an adult. This sounds so cheesy, but life is about living, and life is not about going to work, coming home, putting on the TV, watching a couple of hours of TV, going to sleep, waking up, going to work. I think having some hobbies that you can easily do when you get home rather than either just mindlessly watching TV or doom scrolling, it's so good for your mental health. It's such a better use of your time. Pull out your coloring book, pull out your journal, go for a walk, get into some hobbies. Let's foster our little inner children who have been pushed aside for years and years and years. Let's say, come on little me, let's play some Lego. Come on little me, let's do some hobbies. I would love if you have any other hobbies that you love to do, leave them in the comments. Let's talk about, let's hobby share. Don't forget to like, subscribe, don't leave a mean comment or I will cry. I hope you liked this, and I will see you next week. Bye!